Hi there, everybody. I'm reading a book. It's something I do um, as daily as possible. It's called Your LifeBook, and it's part of my health journey and something I use for my own well being and for the clients that I coach. I was reading about the drama triangle today. It's something I've learned on. I may have shared it before with y'all, but in the drama triangle, what we discover is there's three main roles in that triangle. Each tip, boom, 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 gets a role. There's the victim, which is like, this thing is being done to me and it's not fair, that type of a thing. Then there's the villain, and that's who is at fault. I blame you or them or even myself, I might blame. And then there's the hero, who is, I'm here to save the day, I'm enabling victims, that type of a thing. And it's said that most people, if they're playing the victim role, it's why is life happening to them? And in the villain role, you may be blaming someone else or whatever, or you're the hero and you don't like conflict or pain, so you avoid dealing with them by like overcompensating. Anyway, in Dr. Andersen's book, I thought I would share with you some of what he was saying. He said that everything that we're doing, if we're wanting to improve, it starts with self-awareness. And when we're aware of what we're feeling and maybe our emotions or what is occurring, we're able to kind of stop and say, what's happening? You know, instead of just reacting in that emotional state, right? So you get to decide to take responsibility for your behavior and for the results. And not everybody does that. Oftentimes we see like somebody cut you off, you're driving down the road, someone cuts you off and you're like, oh, I don't know your response, but it's like, whoa, what were they thinking? My goodness, you're so close. Like, oh, good thing I was watching. I put on my brakes. Sorry, kids. That kind of a thing. It's a reaction, a feeling. It changes your breathing. It changes your emotion, and you feel differently in that place. And we blame them for, you cut me off, and maybe you're going to be mad for a little while, and it can totally ruin your day if you're not careful, right? But that when we decide to be the dominant force in our life, we don't have to quickly react to that. And sometimes we can give people the benefit of the doubt, like they must have been in a real hurry. Obviously, they didn't notice me. I may have done that before to someone on accident, and so I'm going to give them grace today. Everyone gets one chance to whoops, and this is their one chance, and so I'll forgive them, and I'm just going to move on with my day. It does not have to change like what I'm experiencing. So people get caught in this triangle of victim, villain, and hero, and it leads to like unrest and anxiety and a really very stressed kind of state. And those are not healthy for our body or for our mind or for our overall well-being. So that's kind of what I notice. A lot of my clients, it leads them to emotional eating, perhaps increased alcohol intake, drug dependency, maybe internet or smartphone addiction, just kind of gambling, stress, even depression. So when you're constantly reacting to the things that are happening in life, instead of pausing for a moment to just breathe and decide, doesn't mean I'm perfect at this, nor does it mean that anyone who's trying to improve will become perfect, but over a period of time, you can change old habits, and that reactive state is something that like we're just used to. So what I've learned in the process of this is that for me, well, I think it's for everybody, but the obstacles that we face in life, maybe somebody who's on my program, the obstacle might be the donut shop, or somebody brings donuts into work, and that's an obstacle. And what are we going to do about that thing? Well, we can choose to eat it. Sometimes we do that. And then a couple hours later, when it's time to eat again, if we're wanting to still be optimal healthy, then we're going to choose that healthy choice next, instead of saying, oh, I ate a donut, I ruined my whole day, and get in that, reactive state. And totally, Jesse. So getting to understand where you fall in that triangle of the victim, villain, or the hero helps you like just being aware of that helps you overcome it. So I notice as I often play that hero role, it's not on purpose, it's subconscious, but I want to make sure everything's okay and avoid conflict. And I can't fix everybody's problems, but I can, breathe and soft, and like make it as happy and cheerful. That's just me. And I noticed that, but I do deal with anxiety. And so it's also my anxiety. And so being more aware of that helps me and allows me to figure out where I want to be in that triangle. I don't want to be in it all. Who wants to be in a drama triangle, right? So, in Dr. Andersen's book, he's saying, like, if you're overwhelmed by the idea that you can be in control of your life and your destiny, like, get a coach. I'm right here to help you, but in the process, we're just taking baby steps. What I coach is not just about losing weight. It's about optimal well-being, and you can escape the hectic schedule and breathe for a moment and recenter yourself. Maybe there's some people who are watching and maybe you meditate or something like that. Just being aware is so important. And so, because it gets you into your rational brain instead of that emotional space. And what happens is we get to respond instead of at that reactive level. We get to decide if I'm drifting into the drama triangle, I can stop. And I can, instead of eating or acting and responding in ways that don't serve my desire, which is optimal health and well-being, then, what basically you want to get into that rational and that thinking brain and deciding for yourself, do I want to be in that? Because there's another triangle that Dr. Andersen talks about in our book, and it's kind of more the empowerment triangle, where you get to, let's see if I can find it real quick, but you get to decide how you want to show up in the world, Anyway, I was just reading of the whole drama triangle, and I thought, yeah, I don't want to be in it. Sometimes when you're stuck in those situations, it just creates so much anxiety would be the word for me. So the other triangle is putting you in the space of the creator, which is like, I'm in control of what happens, or I'm in charge of it, and I'm creating my new story. I don't have to be this person or the reaction to what I've always done. I can create new. So the creator, the coach, which is helping others get better and empowering them to be successful, and the challenger, which is being open to and curious to learning, and then also obstacles are what help us get better. And that empowerment triangle, instead of the drama triangle, is where I'd much rather be. And if we allow ourselves to have those kind of experiences in our life, where we're outside of the drama, I think that we learn is just a better way of health and a better way of living. It's really cool to say that, like, it starts with self-awareness, and that conscious thoughts can actually take over and put you back in charge instead of just reacting to something that happens in your life. And if you already eat the donut, say we're going back into the health version of this, if you already eat the donut or yelled at your kids or shown a single finger to that passing motorist who cut you off or whatever, you're gonna burn less calories in the process. Is that interesting? As we raise those levels of stress and we get in that space, we actually stop ourselves from being healthy. So there's lots more in Dr. Andersen's book, tons more that I would love to share, and I will. But for right now, I was just curious about the drama triangle and the empowerment triangle and where you might fall in that. And if you're somebody who's constantly blaming others, then you know for yourself, like, that's something I could adjust to be more healthy inside, internally healthy. And if you're constantly the hero, same thing. It causes a stress level and an anxiety level. Instead, we can be in charge of our life. We can empower others, and we can totally choose for ourselves how to react and how to create our new story. And like I said, it doesn't have to be that old story. The triggers of life, such as your immediate urge for sugar or chocolate or a salty snack or another habit of disease, those triggers, they're going to cause your body to send out similar signals, but you'll be able to detect them and stop mindless eating. And you'll be able to detect them and stop reactive behavior. And when you can detect what you're feeling and be more aware, you start to become healthy in all areas of your life. It's pretty awesome to learn that self-awareness. And anytime you feel that something's not quite right, you kind of like, for me, I get like really tight throat, like a lump in my throat. You can sense, like I was saying, your breathing might change or your heart rate increases. Maybe you get queasy or like a pit in your stomach. Those are all signals that should make you stop before saying or doing anything, and be aware of yourself, get your breathing under control, think about the sensations, because they're a sign that help you be aware of your body, that an emotion is rushing through it, and it's usually connected to an action. And you can stop, challenge, and choose what's happening in your life and be in the empowerment triangle instead of the drama triangle. Anyway, those were my thoughts and some of the education I was working through, and it had me thinking, and I just wanted to share. If you have any comments about what I've been sharing, or any interest in becoming more aware of yourself or creating more health in your life, reach out to me. I'd be honored to help you. Hope you have an awesome day, friends.